Well guys, I screwed up my brand new exhaust that I built for this FJ40. If you saw the last video, we went through and built an entire exhaust system for it. At the end of that video, when I put it all on, after welding everything, it moved around a little bit and it was hitting the body. I took it upon myself to try to fix that, and I screwed it up, and then I went to go fix my screw up, and I screwed it up even worse. So we got a bunch of stuff that we got to fix. We got a new V-band we got to throw on. We got to cut a bunch of pipe apart. It's kind of gonna be a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. It happens. I wasn't gonna make this video, but I figured I'd show you guys. I mean, we're all human. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. This is one of mine. I'm gonna show you guys my mistake, and I'm gonna show you how to fix it. Maybe you can laugh at me. Maybe you can learn from it. I don't know, but here we go. Let's show you what we did wrong. So our main source of the problems was with this pipe here that runs where this is where it merges in from 2.5 inch from each header. It runs into a collector here. This was hitting, you can see a little dent there. This was hitting the body, and what I decided I wanted to try is to kind of squish this pipe down to kind of flatten it out a little bit. Well, I should have known better. It was gonna mess the V-band up. So we ended up screwing the V-band up. It squished the V-band as well, so that doesn't go on. And then on this other piece here that connects the two, the pipe that goes from there, and then there's a merge right there. Well, in between the two headers, when I welded it, it kind of squeezed together. So what I've seen people do is actually just throw it in a press, and on the 90s or the 45s there, you can squeeze those in a little bit, and it'll actually separate that, or it'll squeeze that apart. Well, I did it too much, and obviously it's going to kind of angle out as that spreads apart, and that is what we're left with. We got about a 1/2 inch gap on top of that. It's still too narrow, and we got about a 1/2 inch gap. So we got a problem. We got a major problem there. What I'm planning on doing to fix that is I'm going to try to bend it back a little bit, but I'm going to probably cut that joint right there. That way I can swing that end back up so it'll bolt on. And then we'll have to maybe just add a little chunk in there. Maybe I'll cut out a little bit more just to make it look better. I don't know. We'll figure out some way to get that back together, but that's not going to work. I don't want to crank and put all that pressure on all these welds. I mean, that's just asking for trouble for something to crack out, you know, lifting that up a 1/2 inch. It will still bolt on, but it's put a ton of pressure on all those welds, all those joints. I don't really want that. So we got to fix that first. Let's pull this back off. Let's try to kind of tweak that back, cut it apart, get that lined up, and then we got a new V-band here that we need to cut this off. Well, actually, this whole section is hitting the body, so what I may end up doing, if I can't get that header to drop back down, or that little crossover pipe to drop back down so this clears the body, I may have to cut it back here and kind of drop this down. And I don't know, it's such a small area, but I might have to kind of jog it down a little bit and then back up. I don't know. That's going to be a pain to figure out, because that whole, when I welded that whole crossover, it kind of warped up, so now it's kind of pointing up at the body. Not much, but a little bit, enough to make this come into contact right here. So that's what we're doing. Let's get this exhaust fixed up so we can move on and get we're so close to firing this thing up. We got the whole chassis harness in. I need to wire in the engine harness, which I was planning on doing on this video, you know, the video after the exhaust, but we got to fix this. I figure I'd show you guys what we're up to. So let's get this exhaust fixed up. All right, that's what we're looking like. We got both sides on, cut in half here, and you can see we got like probably a 3/8 gap right there. So instead of trying to patch it together, you can see it's also kind of pitched out. There's like a gap on this side too. This whole pipe's kind of it's just everything shifted so much when we welded it. So what I think I'm gonna do, I think it'll be the easiest to just replace that 45. I got a new one here that's not cut up. If we use that, we can just cut this one right here. We'll put the longer side here, kind of scoot this whole 45 over. And I think that will match up to that almost perfectly if we do that. Just a little bit longer down here. Like I said, I don't want a bunch of little patches. We'd have to cut this, put a little 1/4-inch piece in there. I don't really like that. Let's just replace the 45 since we already have it. Well guys, this is starting to piss me off. I cannot freaking win with this exhaust. Now it's hitting the link mount right there. You can see, I don't know if something moved when I tacked it, maybe just the heat from welding. I really doubt that. I welded it pretty cold. So I'm thinking almost that maybe that flange got tilted a little bit after I tacked it and pulled it off. Maybe it moved. So what I'm gonna do, I guess now, is just cut this one in here, kind of in the middle of this pipe, and just angle it a little bit just to bring that back up. It doesn't need to go much, but instead of cutting that flange off and try to redo that flange, I think I'm just gonna cut it in the middle there, because honestly, it'll help up here where it was hitting the body right up here. I'm gonna cut it after that. So now it's actually honestly gonna help because it's pointed down away from the body, and then I'll kind of point it back up a little bit to clear that mount. And hopefully third time's a charm. I guess let's pull it off, cut it apart, see what we can do. Well, we finally got it. It's clearing by, I don't know, 3/16 or something. It shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I got poly mounts on the motor and transmission, so it really shouldn't move around too much. Right there, honestly, if that does become a problem, I probably could just put a little bit of a dent in the exhaust just to clear the corner of that. But other than that, it's clearing good. I think we finally got this exhaust to work. Well, the last thing we got to do is fire this thing up and see how it sounds. Let's see what it does. Well guys, that's a wrap. What a pain in the butt this exhaust was. Like I said, it's just so freaking tight right there. I don't know if it was moving when I was welding it from the heat or if that flange, like I said, it could have been when I tacked the bottom on the truck and then pulled it off, tacked it again. It could have moved then. But either way, we got it. We're done. Anyways, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I want you to go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.